words of John Maxwell, our motivation for today.
John Maxwell aptly giving us the motivation quote for the morning. Next, we have to bring to you the news headlines as we have them currently. Well, so first headline for the morning basically is about what the current residents of Accra are doing with current water shortages, which is expected to begin in part of Accra as the Pond water treatment plant is going to be shut down from today.
Local pharmaceutical companies urge government to fulfill promise to save person living with HIV.
Bonafo Regional Security Council sent fact-finding team to Galamsey site at Dokuchina after Joynews team reports.
Stay with us for the details.
For our first story, the Ghana Water Company will from today, February 27 to Monday, March 3, shut down the Pond water treatment plant to allow contractors executing the Pond intake and Accra Tema metropolitan area rural rehabilitation and expansion projects undertake critical pipeline interconnections on the lines. Marian Toure has been engaging some stakeholders to assess their preparedness for the scheduled shutdown.
Some parts of the capital city were hit by acute water shortage last week, with the hardest hit areas being the western and eastern parts of the capital. Plans shut down due to take effect from Thursday, February 27th to Monday, March 3rd will further worsen the plight of Ghanaians. The Ghana Water Company, however, says it has put in place stopgap measures to ensure supply from Wager to the Accra Terminal Reservoir and booster stations to meet water needs in some parts of the eastern Accra during the shutdown. Nanaya Jantua, Director, Public Relations and External Affairs at the Public Utility Regulations Commission, PURC, explains the outfit will carry out inspection works to ensure the utility provider puts the measures in place.
PURC is not against the expansion works, but our main concern was that you can't put off two plants at the same time. So now that we are sure, and we'll go to Wager as well to also ascertain that everything is okay. Coming to contingency plans, they said they've put in place some contingency plans. That is not for us to say because it's coming from them. So what we are doing now is that from Thursday, after the shutdown, we are going to go to these places that they've said they've put in place these plans. We will do some monitoring to find out if these plans are working, if actually these plans have been put in place to mitigate the impacts and the effects of the shutdown on consumers. And that is exactly what we are going to do.
Some residents in the affected areas shared their views with us.
Mr. Miss, you open. Say to my no, your boy, I wish you. It me the mamma for 50 fever by Sadico, and tea, everything up over Saturdays. Sebasa, a hard any demand the iron higher because they will feel that. Now, Oma more a fee more tiffy, no one and a home. And I only be able to me assist our pine. Even so, but to Mukrana, or say in your reservoir one near you for Saturdays be answer. The Omotum no was in a day.
Tumbe, one you can now watch a pa. I can yes, I'm a boo or two seblanaka. Pure talk the Adriani. The top of our quality and chim tune am the Adriani. Until a boo and so that assisting your money a jolly. And see a stramwa, so move to my stramwa, a mumian, a mummy. Mamma won't Malan Chebby.
Areas to be affected during the period include Kukumlemle, Kolebu, Dansaman, Wager, and their environs, as well as Tema, Ashaiman, Lashibi, Michelle Camp, Efenia, Prampram, Ningo, Somanya, Dodowa, Equipam Reach areas. Other areas to be affected include Jowulu, Roman Ridge, Airport Residential Area, Cantonments, Ridge, Osu, La, Laboni, Bemacamp, Tashinungwa, Spintex Road, and the surrounding areas. The Ghana Water Company says the completion of the project will improve efficiency with the replacement of all existing pumps and installation of a 3.3 million gallon a day treatment plant to increase water supply to Accra Tema metropolitan area. Marian Toure, Joy News, Accra.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Water Resources, Works and Housing, Collins Dauda, has assured the public his ministry has already put in place measures to mitigate the effect of the shutdown.
Treatment plant is expected to be shut down for 4 days to make way for rehabilitation and expansion works. According to the minister, the plant shutdown and rehabilitation, when completed, will greatly improve the acute water shortage situation currently facing the country.
We are expanding the pond treatment plant to serve the rural part of Accra. So we call that plant Atma Rural. That is giving us 9 million gallons of water a day. And so we are doing it so as to be able to improve service delivery to our people. It will add on 12.3 million gallons of water to what we produce at POM. So there is need for us to do it now and no other time.
Over the past days, parts of Accra have been hit by acute water shortage, resulting from a similar shutdown at the water treatment plant for maintenance works. Collins Dauda assured, however, that his ministry has already put some intervention in place to lessen the impact of the shutdown.
We know the period of shutdown would cause hardship to our people, and so we put in place contingency measures. What we are doing under the contingency is pulling tankers together to serve our people during that period. Here in Accra, we have 16 tankers ready. In Tema, we have 10 of the tankers. We still can add on depending on the circumstances. And besides the tankering service, what we are going to do is to activate the west-east connection. We'll pump water from Weja into the Okunglu point and distribute it to the western parts of Accra.
Matilda Pomaga for Joy News, Accra.
We'll have to take you to the Bonafo region, where the Regional Security Council there has sent a fact-finding committee or team to the Galamsey site at Dokochina in the Banda district of the region. The regional correspondent Nesta Kafui Ajoma, who was with the team, filed this report.
Early a week ago, Joy News aired a story about the illegal mining site at Dokochina in the Banda district of the Bonahafo region. The Regional Security Council therefore set up a committee consisting of the military, police and the BNI to ascertain the credibility of the news. The committee also sought to know the extent of damage to the environment. About half of the illegal miners had already absconded before the team arrived at the site because they had information that a joint police-military team was coming to evacuate them. Most of those who could not leave due to some reasons stayed away from digging, whilst others were busily getting ready to leave. This young man was captured by our cameras as he was hiding in this mining pit. Few machines for the illegal mining were seen around. Joy News gathered that most of the machines have been moved to safety at secret locations in order to avoid being confiscated by the team. The Banda District Chief Executive Alexander Bonso spoke to the news team after inspecting the site.
I've seen that what we have heard is actually true. So, in fact, the situation here, if not checked, is going to have a very serious effect on our dam. Now, I'm told almost half the people have run away. And looking at the crowd around, I can say we have not less than 3,000 people here. So if half have run away, it means We have over 6,000 here.
The team leader of the Joint Security Force, ACP Patrick Edusei Sapong, described the Dokochina Galamsey site as the largest so far in the country.
If I arrive, you see the number of people who are here. It would not be wrong to describe this place to be the largest of all Galamsey sites in the country. I've been to so many of the sites, mining towns, Galamsey sites, mining places, but this seems to be the largest, considering the number of people who are here. Our advice is very simple. As we were sent by RESEC, you have to report back to RESEC, and any action or decision that RESEC takes, you carry it out.
One of the leaders of the illegal miners, Seydou Yao, noted that they are very aware that their activities are illegal, but attribute it to unemployment. Nesta Kafuya Jomes reports from the Bonoafo region.
Well, local pharmaceutical companies say they are well positioned to meet the high demand for antiretroviral drugs in the country if government would fulfill its promise of providing 50 million Ghana cedis for local production of the drugs. Vice President of the Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Edu Jemfi, says the move by government will go a long way to improve the local manufacturing sector.
President Mahama, in the 2014 State of the Nation's address, announced a 50 million facility to pharmaceutical companies to produce antiretroviral drugs in the country. The decision by the president forms part of government's commitment to fight against HIV and AIDS. Currently in Ghana, 80% of antiretroviral drugs are imported, and government relies on Dana Dams Pharmaceutical Limited for the supply of ARVs when there is shortage in the system. The local manufacturing industry, however, says it is positioned to reverse the trend and be the dominant reliable supplier of ARVs to the Ministry of Health.
An average treatment of a patient is about 500 Ghana cedis for a year. If you're looking at about 50 million cedis, that means that we're talking about increasing our coverage in terms of the treatment of people with HIV to about 100,000. For us, the industry, we are happy to hear that. The reason is that we have the capability. Our production capacity is in millions. We can produce over 30 million tablets a month locally. So for us, it's a happy news. All that we pray that it happens is that it's not a political will or political talk, but the political action that the government is really committed to it. And we are willing to work with the Ghana AIDS Commission.
For the pharmaceutical companies, the move by government will not only boost the local industry, but also serve as an avenue for employment and also reduce importation of drugs into the country.
Things were very bad because there were no contracts in 2013. We had to let 50 people go and sit in their home. So when we heard the news, if this thing trickled down and we're able to get the funds that the government is talking about, it means we'll be able to recall the people that we laid off to come back to work. So it's a good news, generally for employment, generally for people living with HIV. Accessibility to medicines will be available and affordability at a reasonable cost, so that the money that is coming from the tax peoples of Ghana will be used in Ghana.
Persons living with HIV have also lauded the initiative by government, but hopes it will soon take effect to address the issue of the frequent shortage of ARVs in the system.
And we persons with HIV, all that we are looking for is quality and affordable. Quality and affordable. So if these two things are in place, he is producing it in a larger quantity, that there will not be shortages as it was before. And apart from that, it's affordable. It's welcome, and we know through that, because more people are going to be put on treatment and the prevention will come down, because we believe treatment is prevention.
They also appeal to the various hospitals across the country that still charge a fee for the ARV drug to desist from the act, as the drugs are supposed to be supplied to them for free.
A fishing vessel importing frozen fish into Ghana has sunk at the Tema port. The vessel, Madamfo, sank on Wednesday as port staff were offloading fishing materials from the vessel. Though the crew on board escaped unhurt, all the contents were destroyed. Workers at the Kayap Maritime port said those who spoke the fish was being discharged from the ship, and at the same time salt was being loaded from it. In his opinion, the vessel's weight was on one side and they could not balance the vessel. Confirming the incident, the public relations manager at the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, Joanna Ada, emphasized there was no casualties as a rescue team was on hand to assist in ensuring safety of people on board the vessel.
And we go to Parliament now. The Minister of Health was on Wednesday summoned to Parliament to answer questions relating to the construction and rehabilitation of some hospitals across the country. However, Minister Sherry Aite asked to be given time to gather more information on the issues raised by some members of Parliament.
The Minister of Health, Sherry Aite, was asked for her ministry's plans for the construction of a newly proposed hospital at Konongo Asante Achim and a district hospital at Achim Swedru in the Birim South constituency. In her response, the minister assured the House the hospitals will be constructed before 2016 when the funds are released on time.
It is a policy. The President has said it, that every district should have a district hospital. And that is exactly what the Ministry of Health will do. But all the same, I believe that the district assemblies can also support the ministry so from their common fund.
She also told the House the Kumasi South Hospital, which has been upgraded to the status of regional hospital, will be renovated and downsized into a district hospital. The Fijase district, according to the minister, would soon be provided with a district hospital. She also indicated works on the Bumpurugu Yonyo District Hospital has already commenced.
The district chief executive informed me that whilst he was waiting for release of funds from the Ministry of Finance, he was able to use some of his common fund together with resources from the Japanese embassy to commence the construction of a district hospital. The project was designed in phases. Currently, as I'm speaking, he has completed the male and female wards. He has also completed the OPD section. The district has also completed a bungalow for doctors.
The Member of Parliament for Gumpurugu, Solomon Namlet Boa, disagreed with the minister and called for immediate help for the people of the district.
I will use this opportunity to say thank you to the Japanese government for giving us a grant to put up a maternity ward. But that doesn't amount to a district hospital, and that has to be very clear because the government has plans to put up a district hospital of comprising of 150 beds, and that is exactly what we should be talking about, because where we are now, if we politicize health issues in this country, it's not going to help any of us.
Following the barrage of questions, the minister asked to be given time to provide accurate information to the House.
Accra Circuit Court, presided over by Francis Obrey on Wednesday, remanded 3 security officials and an unemployed man in prison custody for unlawfully possessing narcotics. The 3 security men, including 2 policemen, Corporal Isaac Okan and Lance Corporal Dennis Makogo Puamang. The other accused persons are Felix Bani, Bureau of National Investigations officer stationed at Bole, and Edisa Yakubu, who is unemployed. The 2 policemen and the BNL official pleaded not guilty to the charge of possessing narcotics without lawful authority, while Yakubu pleaded guilty to the same charge. Counsel for the policeman, Augustine Obo, in applying for bail, said the first accused person, Yakubu, had carried out his own burden by pleading guilty since he owned the drugs. He said the charge sheet did not support the charge preferred against his clients since Yakubu had claimed ownership of the drugs and therefore prayed the court to grant them bail. He told the court his preparedness to lead evidence to prove his client's innocence in the course of the trial, but the court remanded the policemen in prison custody. They are to reappear on March 3, 2014.
The Ministry of Health is challenging the Ghana Health Service to hasten the process of integrating eye care into every level of the health system. Sector Minister Sherry Aite says the difficulties eye ailment patients go through in assessing eye health service is worrying.
8% of visual impairment, according to the World Health Organization, is due to avoidable causes. Africa has the highest rate of blindness, with sub-Saharan Africa alone saddled with 20% of global blindness. In Ghana, the prevalence of blindness is estimated to be 1% of the total population, and 50% of which is estimated to be cataracts. A little over 74 ophthalmologists attend to the over 24 million Ghanaians, with 50% of these doctors based in the Greater Accra region. The three northern regions cannot boast of 3 eye doctors. The Chief Executive Officer of the Acquah Nana Teaching Hospital, Professor Ohene Ajay, says this is what has necessitated a swift intervention to train more doctors and strengthen the low numbers of ophthalmologists in the country.
It is our vision that this center quickly grows to become a sub-regional center of excellence in eye care services, training, research, and promote of outreach services to underserved communities. The eye unit must take full advantage of this facility to redouble its efforts to expand access to quality ophthalmic care, especially in underserved communities, to help reduce avoidable blindness in the country.
He advised staff of the eye center to justify the huge investment made into the construction of infrastructure by working hard to expand access to quality eye care. Head of the Eye Care Secretariat, Dr. Oscar Deborah, says the country has a huge gap to fill, as less than 20,000 cataract surgeries are done annually instead of the 45,000 needed.
Delivering eye health services, namely Kumasi, Komfanochi here, Kolebu, Taprade, and my second home, Boku. But then since then, we've done a lot, and as I'm talking now, about 85% of the district hospitals in the country have some form of an eye clinic, at least manned by an ophthalmic nurse, so that the people of the country can have some eye health service delivery.
Minister of Health Sherry Aite urged individuals to take up the challenge of asserting their right to sight. She expressed worry about the high cost of drugs in the country. She said her ministry is working hard to provide incentives for doctors and nurses who accept transfers to rural areas.
We have been told by Dr. Deborah that the major eye problem in this country is cataracts. But there are also avoidable blindness. But many of these avoidable cases are associated with poverty and lack of access to the quality health care that our people in remote areas need.
The eye center was constructed with the hospital's internally generated funds and with support from USAID, Himalayan Cataract Project, Orbis International, and Latter-day Saints.
High private workers of the Ghana Highways Authority have appealed to the Minister of Roads and Highways to assist them get paid for a routine maintenance work undertaken between 2012 and 2013 without further delay. The concerned workers, made up of those who weed, clean and indulge in routine maintenance works, told the news team that they were made to understand that revenue from the tolls on the highways would be used to pay them. They wondered why, after their routine maintenance, they had still not received any payment within the period. They reminded authorities of the Ghana Highways Authority that grass cutting and desilting forms vital component of road maintenance, which must be treated with all seriousness as it deserves. They noted that because they had not been paid for work done since 2012, the size of the road had overgrown with weeds. So that'll be it for the news we have. Now a recap of our top stories. Water shortage to begin in parts of Accra from today as the Pond water treatment plant is shut down for rehabilitation.
Local pharmaceutical companies urge government to fulfill promise to save persons living with HIV by making available some 50 million cedis for the production of antiretroviral drugs.
The level of activities at the Galamsey site in the Bonafu region by Joy News has prompted the Bonafu Regional Security Council to send a fact-finding team to the Galamsey site.
That's it for the AM News. Coming up shortly is Sports, which is brought to you by Tigo and Cowbell, to be presented by Baba Tando.
Do stay on. We'll be right back.
Good morning. Time now to talk sports. My name is Baba Tando. Sports on the AM show is proudly brought to you by Tigo and Cowbell. Now, let's talk about what's happening on the local scene with the First Capital Plus Premier League. Yesterday, there were 8 matches across 8 league centres in the country, registering week 18 of the 2013-2014 edition of the competition. Kumasi Asante Kotoko are really on course to actually defend the title they won last season. They actually beat Kumasi Asante Kotoko beat Amida's Professionals 1-0 at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. And then Wa All Stars, they were held to a 1-1 draw with Adriana Stars at the Wa Park. Hearts of Folk also had to share the spoils, 0-0 with the Ebusua Dwarfs. New Dubiase could not find their winning magic as they were beating at home by a 1-0 against Mediama SC. Inter Allies joined goalless with King Faisal. Hazakes 2, Ash Gold 1. Ash Gold have therefore relinquished their 3rd position on the league table. They now lie 5th with 26 points. Hazakes and Bechem United, actually, they also drew goalless with Liberty Professionals. Berkum Chelsea were able to give themselves a boost as they get ready for their first leg tie of the next stage of the CAF Champions League tie this weekend with Etihad from Libya. They actually beat Heart of Lions by 3-0. Last night in the UEFA Champions League, Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale and Karim Benzema all scored a brace each to ensure they demolished Schalke 04 by 6-1. So Real Madrid beat Schalke 04 by 6-1. This gives them, I think it's actually a done deal for them because it will be easy for them in the second leg when they go to the Camp Nou to actually host them. Schalke 04. But yesterday's game was actually played at the Veltins Arena in Germany. And then in the other Champions League game, Chelsea were also held to a 1-1 draw at Galatasaray. And so we're waiting for the next round of matches, which will be coming up on from Tuesday 11th March and then Wednesday 12th March, of course, Tuesday 18th March, as well as Wednesday 19th March. So we'll have details of that particular story of the Champions League on our midday edition of News Today. Now, let's check out what's happening with female soccer here in Ghana. And a total number of 32 team members making up 21 players, 8 technical team members, 1 official from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and then 2 management committee members of the national under-17 female team, the Black Maidens, are actually expected to land in the USA later this morning for a training tour ahead of their Costa Rica World Cup. Now, the team actually missed their flight on Tuesday night and so had to settle for another flight for yesterday. So the team actually embarked on that trip last night actually from the Kotoka International Airport, and are expected to camp in Alabama from today until the 10th of March. And we see how it goes. We'll keep you updated with what happens with the team whilst they stay in Alabama in the United States of America to see as they engage in 5 matches, plus maybe more, but 5 matches for now, trying to prepare for the Costa Rica World Cup, which will be played from the 15th of March to 4th of April this year. Remember that Ghana are current bronze medalists from the last competition held in Azerbaijan. They'll be hoping to improve on that particular feat, maybe silver or probably, who knows, gold, as they take on the rest of the world in the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in Costa Rica, coming up from the 15th of March to 4th of April. Right, so that will do it for sports for now. Remember that at midday, when we bring you news today, there will be more updates in the area of sports. My name is Baba Tando. Sports on the AM show is proudly brought to you by Tigo and Carbell. Do stay on.